let's say, even if you knew that he only has 100,000 limit, but you told him about it and he was like, okay, fine, no problem. Okay, motherfucker.
Record that shit.
Do you run under your own authority and your insurance carrier for cargo is Progressive?
You probably got a problem.
So right now, I just came across me. I have a buddy who does run on his own authority, and he's using Progressive as his insurance provider, and he has some problems. So apparently, Progressive cargo insurance will not cover any water damage.
Man, that's a vague statement because that's a lot of the claims, man. That's like most of your claims are probably gonna be right around that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that outside an actual accident, when because that would be covered if you get in the accident and the cargo falls out of the trailer and now it's wet, or the trailer got popped open and now it's wet because of the accident, that would be covered. However, any other water damage is not, and that's, I think, a very, very big deal because, in my opinion, that's probably 80% of claims. Like, realistically.
Yeah, because I don't have it in front of me, but whatever the exclusion says, because if we've had in the past where a forklift could puncture something and now the product gets wet, and that's wet, so is that not covered? It's whatever that receiver is going to say, hey man, this is now trash, and all of a sudden you got a claim.
Yeah, in that case, that would not be covered because technically, how many times we had to where the individual is getting loaded, the forklift driver, while loading, pops a hole in the roof, doesn't say nothing.
Yeah.
And let's say you are picking up at night, it's dark outside, you kind of checked inside the trailer, you don't see the holes, and now you're running through the rain, and that's going to have water damage. And now it's not covered. So basically, he's being hit with, as of right now, with a $29,000 lawsuit. So because the Progressive is denying the claim, the broker filed a lawsuit against him.
Yeah, now this is one of those situations where, all right, man, it's time to lawyer up, and you probably got to play that game. For those who think that you can go, represent yourself and all that, probably not going to work in a situation like this.
It's actually a very, like, realistically, like, like if I get in the feelings, like I really, I have a lot to say about this situation because that's just like extremely unfair situation. However, if we go down to the reality is pretty nasty because $29,000 as of right now, just for pretty much cargo. If he goes and fights it, then it's, if he doesn't win, then he may be responsible for the other party's legal bills, for his own legal bills,
and for the claim, and for the cargo.
And that stuff can add up. Like, it can easily add up just as much as the current claim.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're probably going to spend money just presenting your situation to a lawyer to even look at it, to see if they want to take that on.
Because I literally, like, we did have a few issues here and there with, like, brokers, cargo, this, that, like, we've been around for a minute, so stuff happens. And man, like, one of the biggest pains in the ass I have, and when we have to look for a lawyer, man, nobody wants to play that lawyer soap opera. No, nobody wants to talk about nothing. Like, you are lucky if somebody wants to even, like, look at that contract for like $2,000.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I never came across the lawyer who said, you know what, like, let's fight it. I only seen the lawyers that say, well, let's make a deal. Let's lose less. How about I don't want to lose it. I don't think I'm at fault. I think that's unfair.
Owner-operator partnership is very real. I got tons of guys who are making $4,000 take-home. Learn how you can do that by giving me a call at 863-342-5171. We are conveniently located in Lakeland, Florida. We are a Florida-based trucking company that is here to provide you resources to be successful. So once again, it's 863-342-5171. Yeah, so let me ask you something. So So you got a lawyer, let's say less than ideal. You had to kind of help him shape his mindset to how you wanted to approach it, but you found the guy. So what stops like from using the same guy again if something else pops off? Like,
It depends. What state was it filed at? Like, for example,
right.
Different. It may be a very different, game plan, because let's say if the carrier is in Florida, the broker is in Ohio, is the lawyer licensed in Ohio? Because that's where I guess the lawsuit is filed. Next time you have an issue like that, the lawsuit is probably somewhere in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And now that lawyer, having that contact is not gonna really help you out. Again, it's a very nasty situation that it's very emotional and not a very promising, man.
Oh yeah, and this is I think this video is actually real important because, man, I get constant phone calls. A lot of first-time owner operators definitely get started with Progressive because I'm not gonna lie, man, they make the end getting insurance with them is easy, especially those guys starting their own authority with like almost no experience.
Well, because I actually, I was looking into this a little bit, and apparently this is not news to the industry. So online you can find plenty of discussions going on between carriers, brokers, carriers with carriers, brokers with brokers discussing the Progressive. So a couple of challenges that you can go about it technically. You can potentially try to say, all right, so the broker has the insurance information, obviously,
right?
Because we want to be added as additionally insured. So we as a matter of fact, I think it's also a responsibility of the broker to his shipper to verify that the carrier has a sufficient insurance.
Yeah, because that's the whole carrier packet idea.
Yes, but nobody ever freaking does that. I remember we had a stolen cargo, like $120,000 of stolen copper.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that was a nasty thing because our cargo insurance would cover up to $500,000. However, the copper had an exemption, only $100,000.
No.
So we were $20,000 short. So that was something that we had to pay out of our pocket. Then another problem is the cargo picked up in Chicago and on Friday and delivered in Chicago on Monday. And the broker never said a word. Obviously, the responsibility goes down to everybody, like the dispatcher, the driver, the broker. Everybody should know better than that.
Yeah.
Because if you're picking up, $120,000 worth of copper, that's a very liquid product, obviously. Somebody should have said something, like a couple of things. Like, first of all, the broker should have never organized that pickup on Friday for delivery Monday.
Too many days in transit.
It's not even transit. It's like picks up in Chicago, delivers in Chicago, which means that the truck is just going to be sitting in Chicago for a whole weekend.
Yeah, liability. I mean, too much time is in between.
So the driver probably, I remember it was a Chicago local driver, so he picked up a load and he went home.
Mm-hmm.
And he parked in the place where he was parking for the last 10 years. Never had anything stolen from him. And now it's gone. Like everything was gone. The truck, the trailer, the cargo. So in my opinion, it's so much negligence about it because the broker should have said something and known something. Because even if the broker, let's say, needs to figure out that pickup on Friday and delivery on Monday, at least he could have said, hey guys, it's a copper load. Is the driver going to be able to stay in the truck all weekend? That's what I would say if that was my customer.
Yeah. Or also even, hey, this is the situation. Why I need it delivered on this specific day on Monday and what time? What's your plan? Does this guy park at your yard? Is there something different? You look for different options to minimize the time that he's on that load.
Yes, to where it felt almost like it was some sort of an inside job. because somebody, whoever stole that stuff, that's somebody who's inside the shipper's warehouse. Or at least the individual who was inside the shipper's warehouse was providing the information to bad guys.
Yeah, and then already you're going to get probably like, yeah, well, the driver's probably involved. So
Because, like if you have to plan something like this and you work at the warehouse that ships copper, you'd be like, all right, we have a load that we're loading today, delivers in Chicago on Monday, so that truck is going to be somewhere in Chicago. So somebody just needs to follow that truck, see where it parks, and boom, the load is gone. So that was, emotionally, it felt really, really shitty because I felt like, okay, fucking broker could have done something. I also felt, dispatcher could have questioned this situation a little bit more.
right, yeah, for sure.
Then the driver also, could have said something. Hey guys, it's a load of copper. And I get it, for a normal individual, like a driver or dispatcher, because you are not in the theft business, you're in trucking business, you can be, running business expecting that everybody is a thief.
No, yeah. I mean, you're taking precautionary measures, and just like anything else, people get complacent. I mean, that's part of the human factor, right?
So and so here we go. We had to pay this up. That did hurt. It sucks. I think it's not fair. I think there are a lot of mistakes that was made across multiple people, but at the end of the day, we had to pay the bill, and it did hurt. I think for that situation that we're talking about, the friend of mine, I think that's another ugly situation because technically, maybe on a technicality, you can go about this to, maybe you can even go after insurance company. I don't know. Maybe you can go after brokers' responsibilities too, because I'm sure the broker is responsible to screen the carrier. That's his responsibility to the customer.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, for example, where I also was pissed off, in our situation, $100,000 limit on the copper, and the broker decides to load $120,000 worth of copper. So a lot of times as a carrier,
You have the
you do not know what's the value of a cargo. And nobody is it's not industry standard to discuss that. However, after that case, we actually we got the tariffs for our company. That's posted online. Now it's official. So now it's we have a few extra legal protections. Holy crap, is this real? $4,000 a week in this market, guys? This is not a joke. We got plenty of owner-operators in this market taking home $4,000 a week every single week. So if you're interested in something like this, we're located right here in Mulberry, Florida, just a few miles south of Lakeland. Give us a call, 863-342-5171, because $4,000 take home after all the expenses, that's nothing to laugh at. Based on our tariffs, it does say that any additional value over $100,000 needs to be we as a carrier, we need to be notified.
Okay.
And it's broker's responsibility to make sure he knows the value of a cargo that he ships. Because at the same time, look, man, everybody, when I was looking online at those situations, there are a lot of brokers bashing the carriers. But I think that's kind of bullshit too. Because imagine, what about the situation where, the broker and the shipper, everybody is trying to save money.
No, yeah, but I mean, you can't just pawn off responsibility to other people, man. At the end of the day, a broker has customers too, both the carrier and the actual shipper. So you want to do good business and protect everything.
No, absolutely. But at the same time, let's say if I'm as a carrier, let's say I have $100,000 insurance limit. And because broker and shipper and everybody else is trying to save money, and we don't want to pay $1 million to FedEx, we hire a little guy, and we load up that trailer with $200,000 worth of cargo without even telling the guy. And now that cargo is stolen. And the insurance says, okay, here's $100,000. Good luck. And now...
That's a battle, yeah, for sure.
And now we can sue you for the other $100,000. And so somebody has to take some responsibility,
where you're putting this cargo. Yeah, for sure. Who you're giving it to. Did you do your due diligence?
Yeah, because I get it. If you told the carrier that cargo value is $200,000 and let's say even if you knew that he only has a $100,000 limit, but you told him about it and he was like, okay, fine, no problem. Okay, motherfucker.
Record that shit.
Now it's on you, but I think in a lot of those cases, nobody ever talks about the value of the cargo, and I think that's a big deal. We personally came across at least one or two of those. I've heard in just my circles of people. I've heard plenty of scenarios to where the cargo was worth more than the insurance limit, and I think the industry needs to do better. But that's, at the end of the day, it's a shitty situation. It's an ugly situation to be in. And if anybody is looking for, if anybody is looking to just lawyer up and find the justice, man, I've tried, and it's not so easy, man. It's not so easy. Nobody wants to hear my mumbo jumbo story, and nobody wants to get involved in my soap opera. Nobody wants to know anything about no righteousness. It's just freaking so black and white, and it's pretty bad.
So the tough part is, the actual homework assignment is this, man. For those who have Progressive, you probably want to take a look at that and handle it before something happens, because it's there. You got to make a decision to bounce or do something, because once it's happening, like our guy, he's in it. Good luck switching into another insurance policy right now with an open claim.
Because look, also right now, if let's say if we had Progressive as insurance for cargo, and if I would learn today that it doesn't cover water damage, I would feel like we have no insurance at all.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm saying, we go off of complaciveness, off of as long as nothing happens. I mean, I've been doing this for a year and a half, and nothing has gone wrong. And until it does, and then it's a little bit too late to do something about it without losing so much. So do your homework now, guys. Check that thing out. You got to be able to make a move now.
Yeah. So this time around, the Progressive is on a lynching, board. But at the end of the day, every time you shop for insurance, check out the exclusions and the limitations. We always check that. We always get the list of the products that may be excluded. Also the limitations, because some products, even you have like a $500,000 cargo, some products may have different limitations.
So check those out.
So it's very important to do. And then once you know what you have a decision to make. But the problem with this I see is, I know that there is a lot of people, especially first time authorities and so on. Man, we just get that Progressive insurance and we run with this, and you pretty much have no cargo insurance. That's how bad it is. So be safe. Make sure you read the fine print. What do you guys think in this situation? Who's at fault? Who should come up with that $29,000? The driver, the little guy with his little company, the broker, the shipper, the receiver? Who's at fault? Who should be responsible? Have you ever dealt with something like this? Let us know. Maybe you know a good way to handle it.
And we can pass that along.
Absolutely, because sharing is caring.
All right, guys, be safe and drive safe.
Take care.